stage. Thanks for coming along to the Crown Anchor.
Before an intimate crowd, desert rock band Kitchen Witch takes the stage. For the Adelaide band, the number of venues where they can perform live are in decline. The Crown and Anchor is one of their crucial gig locations.
We formed in 2013. I think it's the fact that you can play here if you're a band just starting off.
Yeah.
You can play here if you've got a name. If you're an international band, we've supported international bands.
It's from grassroots right through, like until you get to the point where this room's too small.
But after 171 years, the Crown and Anchor, known affectionately as the Cranker, is facing closure. A Singapore-based developer is proposing an 18-storey, 700-bed student accommodation tower in its place.
When I heard about it, I was pretty disappointed. A lot more goes into making a city great than just property development.
This is a valued live venue for bands and amateurs.
The pub's looming demise has prompted anger and an outpouring of support from patrons and the music community. At the weekend, more than 1,000 people attended a rally to save the old pub.
Decided to come today to show our support for saving the Crown and Anchor. Very important to Adelaide's live music scene. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Culture's more important than anything. It's the lifeblood of a nation, so we need to keep it.
The Crown and Anchor has had a long and colourful history. It was first licensed as a pub in 1853.
It's been a site where there's been some really interesting activities over the years.
I think it was 1992 was the earliest solid record of regular live music here. It really kicked off in 1994.
We had demo tapes we had put out all over Adelaide, and the Crown Anchor was the first one to respond and actually give us a go. And that was, back in '95. Yeah, so it was kind of the launch pad, really. It's so important to have places like this still around in Adelaide.
Should the Crown and Anchor shut, it'll join more than 1,300 live music venues nationwide, which have closed since the start of the pandemic, according to music rights organisation APRA-AMCOS.
You can't just go straight to being a professional touring act or getting, constant airtime on Triple J or anything like that. There has to be stepping stones in between, and this is one of those.
Thank you.
Advocates are calling for more recognition of the value of pubs like the Cranker. Last year, the federal government pledged $70 million to set up Music Australia, an organisation to invest in the development and promotion of Australian music.
A pledge like that is great, but let me know when they turn up. We're facing this problem now. We've been begging for support since 2020, and it's nice that it's coming. But if they wait too long, there won't be anything left to save.
The Crown and Anchor is listed as a local heritage place, while the developer We Her Holdings is planning to restore the facade. It says the interior holds no heritage value and will be gutted, to be replaced by a cafe, gym and student laundry on the ground floor.
There's absolutely a need for more student accommodation in Adelaide and a need for more accommodation across the board. But there's also a lot of vacant sites in the CBD. It's not necessary to build on top of an iconic building like the Cranker.
The development application will be considered by the State's Planning Commission. We Her Holdings didn't respond to 7:30's questions about the proposed demolition of the pub and live music space.
I think the campaign is really shaping up as a David and Goliath fight. We've got on the one hand the developer, and on the other we've got a broad coalition of the community. I believe the community can win this fight, but we need the government to stand with us and step up.
What some people are calling for, including the Greens, is a knee-jerk response from the government that what they're talking about is a direct intervention on behalf of the state, effectively telling a landlord what they can and can't do in terms of who occupies the building. That would be a pretty draconian step in a market economy.
But the Premier, who went to the cranker during his uni days, is backing another way forward. The local heritage-listed pub is now under assessment for stricter state heritage listing, which could secure its future.
State heritage listing has already been provided on a provisional basis. We have reason to believe that its application for permanent state heritage listing is meritorious. And then that would go to the preservation of the building as we know it, and it's hard to see how it could be used for anything else but being a really good pub that can accommodate live music.
Advocates say, regardless of what happens with the state heritage listing, they're in this fight for the long haul.
Community culture, it's like the pretty important parts of life, you know.
And life would be grey without it.
Yeah, Adelaide would be a lot poorer if we lost this place. Someone would be richer financially, but the entire city would be poorer.